as we do that. Okay, so when we practice mindfulness, as many of you know, of course, uh, we often begin with just trying to stabilize our attention with some greater concentration. And that's how we'll start today. Classically, we choose an object of awareness. Could be honestly anything. Could be the sensation, the feeling of the in and out breath, which is what is one option I'm going to suggest. It could be a sound, it could be a mantra, it could be an image. We choose an object of awareness. We rest our attention on that object. So that in itself is often a challenge. Like, let's say it's the breath. We might have a tendency easily, to grab onto the breath and try to get a stranglehold on it, thinking that's going to help us concentrate more. And really, it won't. We'll be so tense, we'll concentrate less. We rest our attention on that object. And then, crucially, for all of meditation practice, we'll see that our attention will wander or we'll go to sleep. If our attention wanders, maybe it's to the past, maybe it's to the future. They say that often we do jump to the past and we go to some situation where we now have some regrets, not to think it through for lessons learned or for ways to make amends. We just go over it and over it and over it and over it. And we lose a lot of energy that way, a lot of life's energy. And or our minds jump to the future. And I'd say, and very likely. And we create a world that has not happened. That may never happen out of anxiety. And we're just getting more and more anxious. And again, we lose a tremendous amount of our life's energy. So in the practice of concentration, we kind of recapture all that. We realize we're gone. See if we can let go gently and just return. No judgment, no freak out, no blame. See if we can let go gently and come back and let go and come back. So it's really a practice of resilience, learning how to start over without recrimination, which again doesn't mean we pretend, everything was fine. We blew it, or we made a mistake, or our minds wandered, or we fell asleep, whatever. Okay, let's start over. So it's a huge amount, which we can talk about in a little while, that happens in that process. So we rest our attention on the chosen object, our minds wander, we see if we can let go and come back. Now, this was really hard for me to believe. My very first meditation instruction that I received was January of 1971 in Bodh Gaya, India, where I'd gone to learn how to meditate. And the first instruction was sit down and feel your breath. At first, as I've often said, I thought, that is so stupid. What do you mean, feel my breath? I came all the way to India. Where's the magic, esoteric, fantastic technique that's going to wipe out all my suffering and make me a totally happy person? Then I thought, how hard can this be? What'll it be like? 800 breaths, 900 breaths before my mind wanders? And to my absolute astonishment, it was like one breath or half a breath, and I'd be gone, and I'd be way gone. And I felt like such a failure. And it took a really long time for me to actually trust what I kept hearing from the instructors, which was, that's okay. What's important is how you begin again. It's a practice of recovery, of starting over. So that's really the platform for our expansion into mindfulness practice. And we're going to start there together, okay? So you might want to just like stretch or wiggle or something. And if you're sitting, sit comfortably. See if your back can be straight, but not strained or overarched. You also want to just be relaxed. Your eyes can be open or closed. It's up to you, however you feel comfortable, and you can change midway if you want. And I am going to suggest as that primary object or home base, the feeling of the breath, just the normal, natural breath. It's not like a yogic breathing exercise, which is sort of more deliberate. This is just however the breath is appearing, however you're experiencing it. And for some people, the breath doesn't work. Physical reasons, emotional reasons. We're looking for a fairly neutral object, someplace their mind can rest. So you can try the breath. Sometimes people use just listening to sound instead, or you may have another practice you're used to that's fine. Maybe feeling something else in your body other than the breath. But I'm going to guide this as though it were the breath. So all of us, no matter what that primary object is, can start by listening to sound, whether it's the sound of my voice or other sounds. It's a way of relaxing deep inside, allowing our experience to come and go. Of course, we like certain sounds and don't like others. But we don't have to chase after them to hold on or push away. Let them come, let them go. And bring your attention to the feeling of your body sitting, whatever sensations you discover. Bring your attention to the feeling of your body sitting, whatever sensations you discover. See if you can feel the earth supporting you. And feel space touching you. Usually we think about touching space, we think about picking up a finger and poking it in the air. But space is already touching us. It's always touching us. We just need to receive it. Bring your attention to your hands and see if you can make the shift from the more conceptual level, like go fingers, to the world of direct sensation, picking up pulsing, throbbing, pressure, whatever it might be. You don't have to name these things, but feel them. On the same level of feeling sensations, bring your attention to the feeling of the breath, just the normal, natural breath. You don't have to try to make it deeper or different. And notice where you feel the breath most distinctly, whether it's the nostrils or the chest or the abdomen. You can bring your attention there and just rest. The image is used of a butterfly resting lightly on a flower. Just rest. See if you can feel one breath without concern for what's already gone by, without leaning forward for even the very next breath. Just this one. And if you like, you can use a quiet mental notation of in, out, or rising and falling to support the awareness of the breath, but very quiet. So your attention is really going to feeling the breath, one breath at a time. If thoughts or images or sensations or emotions should arise, but they're not very strong, if you can stay connected to the feeling of the breath or whatever your primary object is, see if you can just let them flow on by. You're breathing. You can allow the thoughts, the images, everything to come and go. It's okay. It's just one breath. If something arises really strongly and it takes you away, for now, see if you can simply recognize what it is briefly and come back to the feeling of the breath. And if you fall asleep, it's fine, or you get carried away in some long train of fantasy, it's fine. The moment you realize you've been gone is the critical moment. How are you then? Can you be kind to yourself? Recognize you've been distracted, gently let go, and just start again. Bring your attention back to the feeling of the breath. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes or lift your gaze, and we'll end the meditation. So thank you for that. And why don't we take a 10-minute break now and then come back? See if during this 10 minutes, by the way, you can take a mindful breath at some point or some situation like that. And then we'll come back and continue to explore the expansive nature of mindfulness and then move on to loving kindness. Okay. Thank you.